Next up, we got some more non-stop. All right, now we got the top 10 fastest players in NFL history. Now, me personally, I was a pretty fast dude. I never really did an official 40 time. But I think my 40 was like a 4.5 or something like that. I am a bigger running back. So I wasn't like obviously the fastest kid like these smaller, Chris Johnson. I wasn't like that, but I was fast. You know what I'm saying? I can run through you or run past you. It don't matter. Anyways, though, before we start the video, I see there's 95% of y'all watch my videos and don't subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. All right. Now, if y'all want more of these NFL little highlight video, going back in history. But hey. Let's see what it is time about.
NFL, speed kills. In the NFL, speed kills. Even as kids, playgrounds around the world are filled with races just to see who's the fastest. No wonder we obsess over speed. Being the fastest player in the league at any point puts you in a small club of players. But being one of the fastest players in history gets you on today's list. The fastest players in NFL history. Michael Vick. There's not a better place to start than the fastest QB to ever live. Vick mesmerized the world, doing things never before seen by a passer. Reportedly running a 4.25 40 at the combine.
He ran a 4.2. I never knew that. What this nigga fast as hell? And it's funny because in his highlights, it didn't look like he was that fast. Though honestly, whenever I seen Michael Vick highlights, I never thought of him like, oh, he's the fastest. I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought like, okay, he's a sweet-ass quarterback that no one can tackle his ass. That's what I thought. No one can tackle him.
Primetime entertainment every time Vick suited up. Vick's speed wasn't exclusive to just straight line. Vick would often cut, shimmy, and fake before exploding through the open lane. He didn't need to accelerate. Vick started in 5th gear. Vick's start-stop blazing speed led him to being the first quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in a single season. The worst thing that could happen to a defense is Vick deciding to tuck it and run. There's not a dual-threat passer that has ever had us saying wow more than Michael Vick. As a result, the 10th fastest speedster on our list is the all-time leading rusher at the quarterback position with over 6,000 yards on the ground.
Damn.
Cliff Branch. They say that Al Davis loved speed. He repeatedly overdrafted guys that had great speed. Maybe all that time he was trying to rekindle what he had in Cliff Branch. In the heyday of the Raiders, Cliff Branch was the biggest deep threat in the league. But before we get to his 3 Super Bowl championships, we have to talk about what Cliff Branch did as a sprinter. In the 1970 semifinal, Branch broke the 100-meter NCAA record at 10 seconds flat. And his speed translated to the league perfectly. He retired the all-time
so what position did he play?
Receiving yards leader in playoff history.
Oh,
league
receiver?
Perfectly. He retired the all-time receiving yards leader in playoff history and had 3 straight all-pro selections. It didn't matter who was throwing the ball to Branch, as he was just simply the fastest man of the time. Cliff Branch is the NFL's pioneer speed demon. Willie Gault. Our next fastest player in NFL history actually competed in the Olympics, winning multiple gold records as a sprinter and relay runner for Team USA. In the 1983 World Championship, Gault was a part of the world record time 4x100 team. As a hurdler, he obliterated the world record time at the 1982 SEC Championships.
Damn.
Drafted in the first round by the Bears, they used his speed to blow the top off of defenses. And that's exactly what he did.
Man, I swear, bro, back in the day, it had to be so entertaining to watch, bro. Y'all had everybody, just like every time I see the Bears, I think about the greatest running back to ever touch the ball, Walter Payton. Walter Payton, bro. If I could have just seen Walter Payton play, bro, especially if I could have just went to a game, like, oh my god, bro. It's funny though, because I wonder if kids nowadays grow up and they be like, oh, I wish. Did you ever see like Lamar Jackson play? Have you ever seen Pat Mahomes play? But I feel like, I don't know, like back then, bro, it was like way better. Like, I don't know. Nowadays, it's like everything's so soft and everything's so like it's all about money and shit like that. It's so saturated. You know what I mean? I feel like back then it was more authentic and people was just
With the legendary
crazy.
1985 Chicago Bears team, Galt was the mercenary of speed. Whenever they needed a game-breaking play,
Yo, they can't even keep up with him. The cameraman can't keep up with him.
Galt was the mercenary of speed. Whenever they needed a game-breaking play, they turned to Galt's game-breaking speed. In a huge game against the Minnesota Vikings, it was Galt's 70-yard touchdown grab that sprang the game open. You look along Willie's career stats, and every year he has a 50-plus yard touchdown, even averaged 20 yards per catch. He was a pure speedster, controlling the game because he was just
Woo! I was trying to see if I could see him. Hold on.
catch. He was a pure speedster,
Is that man in the background? He gonna pop up somewhere. Hey, if you see a Bears, he go see. Hey, he gonna pop up somewhere.
controlling the game because he was
shit.
just simply faster than
That
everyone
boy
else
Watson.
around him. Randy Moss. Randy Moss was a long strider. At 6'4", it took him a little longer than other speedsters to get to his top speed. But once he did, there isn't anyone that could run stride for stride with him. The NFL found out quickly just how fast the freak was. At the Combine, he ran a 4.2540, and that speed terrorized the NFL, regardless of what jersey he had on. Randy Moss simply was faster, and knew he was faster. Everybody remembers Moss throwing his hand up running along the sideline. Before he even had a step on D'Angelo Hall, he sprinted past Hall, running under a long bomb for the score. No single play shows just how big and fast Moss was, more than his Thanksgiving Day quick screen against the Cowboys. He caught the ball along the sideline and proceeded to outrun every
I
angle the
do remember
Cowboys
this.
had on him. All they could do was land one single
That's
hand.
another thing too. Even with him, it's like I done never looked at Randy Moss like, okay, yeah, he's the fastest. Like, I'm just not know. He ran a 4.2. What the fuck? What is going on? And the fact that I feel like he might be the tallest, fastest person we ever knew. Prove me wrong. I think he might be the tallest, fastest person.
On him. But our personal favorite is his bomb from Brady, where he outran 3 Jets defenders in the
Darrelle
end
Revis?
zone. Randy Moss's speed was truly one of one. Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson, coming out of ECU, blew up the football world with his 40-yard run at the Combine. Nobody could stop talking about the number. 4.24 seconds. Chris Johnson shattered the fastest official Combine run by nearly 0.5 of a second. Drafted by the Titans, Chris Johnson's speed constantly showed up on game day. With the ball in his hands, Johnson effortlessly blew by defenders. Every time he caught a pass or took a handoff, there was a chance his speed would actually take the game over. If he broke the initial line of defense, Johnson was impossible to catch. His speed killed, making him the ultimate home run threat in the NFL. In 2009, Johnson ran into the record books. He ran for over 2,000 yards and broke the all-time single-season scrimmage record at 2,509 yards. He and his speed earned the nickname CJ2K. Just like Chris Johnson's record-breaking year, his speed is unforgettable. Tyreek Hill. A guy nicknamed Cheetah, well, he's probably going to be on this list. We don't make the rules. But Hill's speed dictates the game plan for defenses. They change everything about themselves just to not get beat deep by Tyreek Hill. At 5'9", it's easy to lose Hill on the field. That is, until Mahomes finds him and he's throwing up the peace sign. In high school, Hill recorded both a
What the fuck? Bro had a fat ass dick. God damn. Dang, you know this. Oh, this is Trojans. Oh my god, the team name was called Trojans, bro. Come on, stop it.
4.2540 and a sub 10 second 100. That is, until Mahomes finds him and he's throwing up the peace sign. In high school, Hill recorded both a 4.2540 and a sub 10 second 100 meter dash. At his pro day in 2016, some scouts hand timed him at a 4.21 in the 40. He could have very well decided to run track for the United States Olympic team instead of scoring touchdowns for the Kansas City Chiefs. And hey, he still might. After their Super Bowl win, Hill vowed to run in the U.S. sprinting trials. The Sunday Night Football video comparing his time next to all the best sprinters in the world shows that he would not only be able to, but he'd be right in the mix. Now put that speed on a football field. You can see why defenses tremor the night before they have to play the Chiefs. Deion Sanders. Neon Deion. Deion is the flashiest player the NFL has ever seen. He was cocky and bragged non-stop, known as a great trash talker. Want to know why he could talk so much trash? Well, he knew he was the fastest player on every single field he stepped on. The urban legend goes like this. Instead of prepping and going through field drills at the combine, Sanders showed up without warming up. He stepped up to the 40-yard dash line and ran a 4.2.
Oh my god! I swear, bro. It's funny because I was reading a book about confidence, right? And they used Deion Sanders as a good confidence person, bro. Because he literally had the most confidence in the world. He didn't care, even if he lied to himself or not. You know what I'm saying? He always said, "I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I don't care who it is. Whoever run up from me, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best." And using confidence like that, you're gonna get places. You're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because your mind is your biggest enemy. So it's just so funny, bro. This dude, he talking about he didn't even warm up. You know how much confidence you gotta have, bro? This dude is like hilarious.
Without warming up, going through field drills at the combine, Sanders showed up without warming up. He stepped up to the 40-yard dash line and ran a 4.2 flat in street shoes. Then he immediately got back into the limo he came in and left, proving everything he needed to. While we can't confirm it, it's been backed by pretty much everybody. When you watch Sanders effortlessly stick to the NFL's fastest receivers throughout his career, it makes the story that much more believable. Sanders may very well have run the fastest 40-yard dash ever, and he had all the charisma to go along with it. Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of urban legends, Bo Jackson's life is a literal walking urban legend. Everybody has a tale about Bo Jackson in the late 80s. But the NFL's Chuck Norris is more than just a story told in barbershops. He's arguably the most explosive athlete to ever live. In his pre-draft combine, they say that Bo Jackson ran a 4.12 40-yard dash. If that number sounds ridiculous,
yeah, and that's nothing. He tall too, so shit, I don't know.
Well, that's because it is. But don't fret. When they asked Bo what the actual time was, he finally spilled the truth. It was in fact only a 4.13 official time. Good thing we solved that myth. A 4.14 time would make Bo by far the fastest player the NFL has ever seen, at a remarkable 230 pounds. There may not have been another player on this list over 225 pounds. That would make Bo the fastest pound-for-pound man in NFL history. But that doesn't mean he actually is the fastest. We still have two more, including a legend that isn't talked about enough in the realm of speedsters, Bob Hayes. Bullet Bob Hayes is the definition of speed. He's the only true Olympic sprinting gold medalist to play in the NFL, and still the only gold medalist and Super Bowl champion in history. Bob Hayes' speed is legendary, and thankfully for us, it was also timed. Before the era of specialized training, Hayes broke the world record 100-meter dash, running under 10 seconds at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. But the true test of Hayes' speed was in a 4x100 relay race, where opponents boasted that they couldn't win because all the US team had was Hayes. As the anchor of the race, Hayes made a dramatic comeback win, running the fastest relay leg in history at 8.5 seconds. After the race, his teammate looked over at the other sprinters and said, "Well, that's all we needed." Hayes transitioned to the NFL, where he was drafted by the Cowboys. His debut in the league effectively altered the NFL forever. Because of his unrivaled speed, defenses invented both press coverage and zone defenses. Putting someone in man coverage with Hayes was essentially giving the Cowboys 6 points. In his first 2 years, he rewrote Cowboys record books, including 22 franchise marks that still stand to this day. Only one person in history can say he was so fast he changed the timeline of football. Bullet Bob Hayes was essentially the NFL's Flash, Darrell Green.
Oh, I heard of
Darrell Green is known across the football world for his speed, almost exclusively. Yes, he was an all-time great cover corner, but it was his unmatched speed that people will always remember him for.
Bro, look at the OG. Look at OG, bro. Look how big the damn jerseys was. It's funny because I remember this shit too. Look how fat the jerseys is, bro. Damn. Yo, it's not. It's funny because the jerseys. If you wear a football jersey, because usually, like, you know, if you a varsity athlete or just an athlete in general, usually y'all come home, y'all come in high school, y'all come in with y'all jerseys on game day on Friday. Y'all come in with y'all jerseys on, and some people jerseys that look super big on them. That's how this shit look. It looks super big on him, but he has pads. What the fuck?
It's not a surprise, as Green was a two-time All-American track star in college, from '86 to '91. Despite being smaller than all his competitors, he was a first-team All-Pro selection at corner. This was a combination of having the greatest recovery speed ever seen and being a great technician. Green reportedly recorded a 40 time of 4.09 at the Washington Redskins training camp in 1986. He might have even been faster in competition than his college 10-second 100-meter dash, winning 4 NFL's fastest man competitions. When the event was retired, he was still the only undefeated multiple-time champion ever. So, what's the secret to Darrell Green's speed? Well, if you ask him, it's Tootsie Rolls. Green's pregame ritual included putting Tootsie Rolls in his socks. Darrell